Perspective Recording Engineer? It's your old pal Glenn Fricker here, back again with another super awesome commercial. Video. Now, some of you might have seen a certain video in which a very angry man says some very mean things about Apple and their wonderful computers. That man is my evil twin brother, and I strongly urge you to not believe any of the foul things he says. So, in order to set the record straight, I will disprove mean old Glenn's points with a video of my own. Here's 11 reasons why Mac is better for recording than a PC. Reason number 1, it's designed to work. When it comes to cutting-edge design, both in style and technical performance, Apple are at the top without competition. There's a good reason why Macs are the first choice for people who want to get things done. Simply put, they just work. But why is this? Simple! Macs are built to work hand in hand with their operating system. This means, unlike your filthy peasant PC, a Mac won't come loaded with unnecessary bloatware that slows it down. It'll run smooth, and you won't experience endless frustration when 3 Chrome tabs eat 90% of your processing power. Let me ask you this. Why do you think 100% of Fortune 500 companies are using Apple products? It's because they're efficient and they're stable. While the PC, the peasant computer, sits in the family living room carrying more viruses than a rat in the streets of New York City. Reason number 2, it's made with the artist in mind. Apple's philosophy has always been to give creative people the tools they need to achieve their vision. Everything in the Mac OS is designed in a logical fashion in order to help you speed up your workflow. The good folks at Apple know that you aren't just a mindless drone sitting behind your desk at your office job. You are an artist, and the Mac is the tool that breathes life into your art. The PC business model is more so about casting the widest net they can to satisfy as many needs as possible, which is why it falls short to begin with. It's unfocused, messy, and lends itself more to things like video games rather than artists. This is the inherent problem of Windows-based systems. It's the jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none approach, while Apple are focused on efficiency and helping people excel at their craft. Now ask yourself this. Do you want to work with the best, or would you prefer wasting your time with someone comfortably in second place? Reason number 3, the user interface. It's no secret that Apple designed their products with the aesthetics taking priority. Just look at the sleek design of any of their products. The wonderful rounded corners that make sure your eyes don't get tired. The soft color schemes that fill the user with comforting emotions. It's more than apparent that Apple know that their users are going to be working very hard and very long. So being the geniuses that they are, they've carefully designed the user interface to conform to those demands. And before any of the PC users start typing out mean comments, that is if their laggy machines allow it, take a look at the trailer for Windows 11. Now, it could just be old age or the fact that I haven't taken my medication yet, but I think it bears a striking resemblance to Apple's user interface. For years now, Microsoft has been desperately trying to capture the beauty and the simplicity of the Mac OS. It makes you wonder, if PCs are so great, why are they trying desperately to be Macs? Let's face it, PCs are messy, and most of the programs are just going to get in the way, while everything on the Apple is designed to perfection. And please, pay no attention to iTunes or QuickTime Player. Those lackluster programs do not actually exist and are a conspiracy fabricated by Russian hackers in conjunction with the deep state to make Apple products appear inferior. Those pesky hackers, they can't keep getting away with it. Number 4, drivers. Apple knows how important workflow is to their users, so they've made sure their system is optimized for anything you throw at it. Just bought yourself a MIDI keyboard? No problem. Plug it in and you're all set. Same thing with recording interfaces. Plug it in and away you go. That was my experience with the Focusrite Red 16 line. It just worked. Meanwhile, over at the PC slums, before you can get anything working, you'll need to download and install the proper drivers. And for the not so tech savvy among you, that can get a little bit complicated. I won't bore you with all the details, but in short, most, if not all of the problems you're going to have recording on a PC are a result of driver issues. And for most of us who need our equipment to work, those are issues we simply cannot afford. Those are precious minutes you could spend applying auto-tune to somebody's voice to make it perfect. And we know that making a performance perfect makes music much better. Listen to all the incredible, unique music being made these days. This is really where macOS outshines the PC. It's very user-friendly and it makes sure you're going to spend your time getting work done instead of messing around with those filthy drivers. And what's more is if you have two audio interfaces from different manufacturers, you can create an aggregate device to have them work together. I use this method all the time with my Focusrite Red 16 line and the Neve 1073 OPX. I've got the Mac set up to see them as one big device. Using a PC? Sorry, but you're out of luck. Number 5, sparing no expense. A point that Evil Glenn addressed in his video was that there aren't many free plugins available for the Mac OS, and while this is true, I would consider it misleading. You see, as a Mac user, you value your work and your status as a professional. And as a professional, you know that free plugins just aren't all that good. Think about it. If something is free, that can only mean that nobody wants to pay anything for it anyway. So tell me, what kind of professional would use the dead duck channel instead of the full-blown SSL native bundle on their mix? Remember, things that cost more usually do so because of the time and research that went into their development. Sure, a free EQ that looks like an SSL console can get you some decent results, but the SSL native console is actually emulating the real thing and therefore sounds better than cheap imitations. It's also worth noting that more expensive, better developed plugins tend to require more processing power. So at the end of the day, it all works out for the best. Don't pinch your pennies, kids, and don't you even think about pirating those plugins. 6. It's also better for video. In the age of modern entertainment, the ability to streamline and efficiently produce content is invaluable. Personally, since I switched to macOS here in my studio a few years back, I really haven't looked back. Rendering video on a PC can be a bit of a pain in the rear end. Have you guys ever tried Vegas Pro? It's a nightmare. I don't know about you, but when I'm waiting for half an hour to render a video, I don't like being stuck doing nothing else because my PC needs every scrap of power just to put some frames together. Same goes for mixing. Rendering a big project with a ton of powerful plugins can take quite a while to render, and that's time I can't afford to waste. Do yourself a favor. If you want to create content, be it music, video, or both, get yourself a Mac and spare yourself the headache. Number 7, constant innovation. Let's rewind the clock to 2007. Apple had just released the first iPhone, a device that will go on to revolutionize the world, not just in terms of consumer electronics, but also how global communication would be conducted. Even before then, they had always poured their heart, soul, and seemingly endless resources into developing new products. Early Macintosh computers to FireWire to the iPod, it's the constant refinement of their systems that keep them at constant peak performance. People laughed when the AirPods came out. Everyone made memes about how silly and ridiculous they look. But who's laughing now? Everyone and their mother are making wireless earbuds and in-ear monitors, and it was Apple who pushed that technology into overdrive. This is why macOS has remained the industry standard for so long. It's Apple's commitment to always keep improving that encourages their users. Some people might complain about Apple abandoning their hardware, but why would anyone want to remain on the same system forever? Seriously, guys, it's 2021. FireWire was great like 30 years ago, but better systems have come out then, like 2011 when Apple and Intel created Thunderbolt. Oh, and speaking of Thunderbolt, number 8, Thunderbolt is stock. Do you want to step up your game and get yourself a workhorse beast of an audio interface? Then it's time to ditch that USB Scarlett 2i2 and hop on over to Thunderbolt. Oh, there's just one problem. PC doesn't have Thunderbolt. Not in stock anyway. In order to use a Thunderbolt interface on a PC, you'll have to install a PCIe card. But it doesn't stop there. Your motherboard might not have the proper routing to even support a Thunderbolt connection. So in that case, kiss that UA Apollo goodbye. Apple, on the other hand, have Thunderbolt ports stocked because they know their users only want the best and most expensive. Why waste your time installing an aftermarket part onto your PC when you can just get a Mac and avoid all those issues? Just remember to get the right adapter when they eventually develop Thunderbolt 5. What? Seriously? Okay, Tim, I'll tell him. My apologies, that was Apple CEO Tim Cook, and he was kind enough to tell me some exciting news. In 2025, Apple will be dropping all Thunderbolt support in favor of the newly developed system. I hope you guys are ready for the brand new HyperDrive 1000 port. Apple, pioneers and leaders in innovation. Number 9, integration. Another great thing about Apple's system is the integration between all their devices. You see, running this show full-time isn't easy, so it helps to have everything you need at your fingertips, wherever you are, whatever device you're on. Whether you're on your MacBook, your iPhone, or iPad, you can rest assured that all your messages and FaceTime capabilities are going to carry over between all the devices, so you won't have to hop back and forth to retrieve what you need. It's a great way to keep your workflow consistent and uninterrupted. And I have never, ever once lost my cool under the constant barrage of text messages while I'm trying to work. Sure, it's a small thing, but small things tend to add up, and it just makes for an overall better user experience. Number 10, Mac exclusive DAWs. As I've mentioned earlier, Apple cares about the artist. This is most notably shown by the fact that Macs come stock with one of the most useful tools for any musician, GarageBand. For those of you who don't know, GarageBand is a very handy and easy to use DAW and sequencer, which even the busiest musicians can use on the go. It comes with an assortment of virtual instruments, effects, drum loops, etc. that can spark your creativity in seconds and help you write that next big hit, even while you're on an airplane. GarageBand supports 24-bit 44.1 kHz recording, so as long as you have your MacBook or your iPad with you, you can make great recordings anytime you like. And for those of you who are just starting out your musical journey, GarageBand also has a lessons section, some of which are actually from famous musicians like Sting and Alex Lifeson. And if you find GarageBand is a little bit too simplistic, you can pick up its big brother, also exclusive to the Mac, Logic Pro. With its uncluttered UI, wide selection of virtual instruments, and great stability, it's easy to see why it's so popular among musicians as well as recording engineers. And unlike that pesky Pro Tools monthly subscription model, Logic is a simple one-time payment of $199. Now that is logical. Number 11, and the most important, it's a sure sign that you've made it. The PC guys might hate to admit this, but all the pros in the best recording studios around the world are on Macs. Despite all the decent specs modern PCs have, Mac OS is still the preferred and predominant operating system of choice for most people working in pro audio. The reason? The trust and legacy. Apple computers were far more capable than PCs back in the day, and even nowadays, it's the reputation, the trust, and the reliability of Apple's machines that keeps them in the studios the world over. Whether you're at work, at the airport, or at Starbucks sipping on an overpriced venti mocha frappe, you can rest assured that your Mac is there with you, and it's functional, like a trusted, helpful friend that you can always rely on. I haven't had contact with another human in years. I'm too busy working on my Mac. It's like self-induced Stockholm Syndrome with a computer. Please send help. So, fuck! Fuck. Do yourself a favor. If you want to create content, fuck! One more time! Fuck! Fuck! Stop jumping ahead!